In this video, I'm going to talk about second opinion and how various things, people, and ideas from the civilian world represent a second opinion or alternate to organized crime in the mafia.
Isn't there somewhere you people could just agree?
Sure. Convene a tumor board.
What the hell is that?
A meeting of the chief of oncology and oncological pathologist and other specialists who then work together to reach a consensus.
In many ways, a tumor board is like a mafia sit-down.
Work together to reach a consensus.
Then I guess you hear what they have to say.
Well, your uncle will not be present. They will pass their decision along to both of you.
Johnny and Ralph Cifaretto, right?
Just like how Junior wouldn't be present at the convening of the tumor board, Ralph isn't present at the sit-down either.
And Kennedy will be there.
I assure you, no surgeon would miss it.
Let's get started. My daughter-in-law is coming in with the baby later.
One difference between the tumor board and the mafia is that with the patient, the decision is ultimately left to them. But in the mafia, the final decision is made by the people at the table, the people at the sit-down who are in charge, the experts, so to speak.
It's settled, John. So either name a price or get the fuck over it.
Unless you're like Johnny Sack, in which case you end up making the decision for yourself anyway.
Are you sure you want to do this? I'd feel a lot better with the Pope's blessing.
Just do as you're told. I'll deal with the fallout.
Patient, Soprano, Corrado, male, Caucasian, 72 years old, presented 3 months ago with severe weight loss and early satiety.
Let's point out, too, it's only been alleged something was said.
He allegedly said what he said to a group of people.
He was scoped, and a 4-millimeter mass in the greater curvature revealed no evidence of metastasis. Dr. Kennedy was referred in, and he recommended gastric resection for cure.
Let's stick to the issue. A horrible insult was made against Ginny. End of fucking story.
So what does he want done about it?
There were no surprises. I thought we had it. I was told we had clean margins.
All right, fine. You tell me who told you about it. We'll bring him in here.
Often too little healthy tissue was taken from around the tumor site, which leaves the possibility, as in this case, for a false negative.
You want the man's whole stomach.
Problem with procedure, we'll take it up on a board level. Meanwhile, what are we going to do with this guy?
I mean, what happened to this thing? For God's sake, we bend more rules than the Catholic Church.
He's high risk. His pressure fell below 60 systolic for 8 minutes on the table.
The incision's still fresh. I can do it in half the time.
We don't do surgery, we do 5 FU.
Which works how well in adenocarcinoma?
Not very.
For certain tumors, like tumors of the stomach, 5-FU is frequently given after surgery to destroy any remaining microscopic cancer cells and reduce the risk of recurrence. On the other hand, you have just the regular FU.
We decided to go in.
Is clipping him gonna unring that bell?
So what do I tell Maida?
Maida? Sloan Kettering Maida?
You make life and death decisions because of a man's name.
Who invented the mafia? Salvatore Lucana, better known as Charlie Lucky Luciano, who organized the 5 families. Lucchese, Gambino, Bonanno.
In addition to the tumor board mafia sit-down parallels, Carmela's mom has her second opinion about who Carmela should have married, and we know that Carmela seeks an alternate opinion from a different therapist than the one we're used to seeing.
My priest said I should try and work with him and help him to be a better man.
How's that going?
What?
He's no Angelo Stanford, that's all.
What is that supposed to mean?
When she visits Meadow at school and looks at the flyers for different lectures and some of the books she's reading for her courses, it looks like Carmela may be contemplating her decision to drop out.
Remember I told you I spend about half my time involved in student affairs? Well, this is how I spend the other half. Development. The new student center.
Good news about the Esplanade. The legislature has voted to refund the special Newark Development District along Freeling-Heisen Avenue, north from the Museum of Trucking. Because of the vote, Omni is going to put up a hotel with a galleria on the first floor.
Break ground next fall. See the large black marble wall to the right of the entrance? The wall is reserved for people whose commitment begins at the $50,000 level.
It's from the old neighborhood. What? They think they're going to name the Soprano wing in the new hospital?
The Columbia dean who Carmela meets with for lunch is like another version of Tony or someone in the mafia who collects from people and essentially bribes or makes them an offer they can't refuse.
50,000?
That's what the giving committee felt you'd be comfortable with, based on your past generosity to the Verbum Day School.
Do you know what we gave to Verbum Day?
I'm half embarrassed to say it, but it's my job to know.
Tony put me back in action. He gave me 50 G's to put out on the street. What is that? Nothing?
Please.
I know how things work. My father was in Tony's position. He gave Romeo Martin $50,000 when he got out of jail. Now we're talking about 30 years ago. 30 years ago. Today, that's $500,000.
Maybe they should hire Janice for fundraising.
All the information, including tax benefits, is in here.
When the dean gives Carmela the pamphlet with information on tax deductions, etc., it makes me think of how Tony alternately deals with or creates his own tax deductions.
You want something? Food?
No, we're just gonna talk.
Oh, high level. There's $250,000 there. My own personal funds.
I'll send it to Moscow with the Airbnb ThinkPads. But this time, I want to use Prom Street Bank. Anyway, then send it to the Isle of Man, to your bank, numbered account.
In this episode, we get the opinion from Dr. Kennedy that Tony, Jr., and anyone with the Soprano name as a whole is not someone to worry about.
If there's ever anything I can do, a favor, anything, let me know.
I'll keep that in mind, Mr. Soprano.
Junior's going to Sloan Kettering to see Dr. Maida. Screw him. But then Dr. Kennedy gets a second opinion on the golf course. Mr. Williams is often consulted and brought in for complex cases like this.
You know, my uncle, he's not doing so well.
That happens all the time. There's nothing that I can really do.
You know, there are worse things that can happen to a person.
Some more alternates. Junior dreaming of Tony being indicted and Junior being free both from indictment and from cancer.
You help your nephew Tony cooperate fully, help take him down.
What do I get?
Guaranteed cure. Not a single disease cell.
Tony giving Carmela money and following her lead at the end.
This is what I want. I already told him 50.
50 G's.
And if you think about it, second opinion comes right after university and right before he is risen.
A young man who worked for us. Borough sanitation. He died.
He was distressed about this young man's death in the garbage compactor.
See, he didn't say garbage compactor, did he? See?
You know who else gets a second opinion from Carmela? Dr. Melfi. Not that she hasn't already been getting a second opinion from her therapist, Elliot, but sometimes it helps to hear from a third party. And then, of course, following that, we go back into the same routines, the same patterns. If there were ever a moment for Tony to consider a second opinion about whether he wanted to live a life in organized crime, it would be this moment when Tracy's killed, right before second opinion.
Making you captain.
Thanks for watching. I'd love to hear from you.